You are listening to one of the most prolific podcasts. I'm Caleb.
It's your boy DT.
And I'm Ken.
We are the Mind Report. Here to push your mind and change your thoughts.
Everybody. What a blessing it is to be here. Y'all know how we start our episodes off. It's always with gratitude. We always got to be thankful for the positions that we in, just to be on these microphones every week, dropping gems, coming to y'all, changing y'all minds, pushing y'all thoughts. It's a blessing to be here with my brothers. It's a blessing to be here talking about what we talk about. I'm Ken.
I'm DT.
I'm Caleb.
T, I got a question for you, bro. What we got going on today?
Man, we're going to be talking about the mindset of an entrepreneur from one of the greats and one of my first mentors. He is a father. He's a spiritual guide to me. And he's a wonderful husband, an entrepreneur, and on the court, Steph Curry with the rock. And he will shoot your lights out. And I'm in full gratitude right now just to bring the GOAT himself, Michael Parker, up. I call him Big Mike because he's a small guy, but he had a heart of a giant. Big Mike, take it away, my brother.
Man, look, I appreciate y'all. I'm very grateful for that. I appreciate y'all thinking of me to come on this podcast.
Look, I couldn't think about nobody else better if we talking about entrepreneurship. Can you tell us just a little bit about yourself and then what you do and then how long you been into entrepreneurship?
Well, I've been in entrepreneurship ever since I was 12. My stepdad was a painter, and we went to every job, and he paid me $700 a week. So when he sowed that seed in me, I was like, well, you know what? I think I can get out there and work for myself once I get to that point. From 12 up until now, I have learned so many things, and I make money in so many different spots. But I started early.
Yes, sir. And I like how you said sowing seeds. A lot of people don't know about sowing seeds. When you sowing seeds, you don't just sow seeds into the ground. You sow seeds into others, into business, into your personal development or growth. And I know it's one person that I call and I know I can take a lot from, and it got to be Big Mike.
Oh, yeah. I got a lot stored in me, man. I'm just waiting to let some of it go.
As he always say, he said a lot of people have ministry within them as they walk. And I know for a fact that he has so much in him and he's just so willing to give it to the world. That's one thing that I do look up to him for because he's a servant leader. That's the first person I ever seen be a servant leader and taught me what servant leadership is. Always willing to give.
Yeah, that's a major thing. If you got it in you, what good is it if you ain't willing to share it?
Exactly.
That is right. I'm going to tell y'all this story, man. There was this young lady that was going through a whole lot. A lot of people used to come and pick her up and take her to do different things. She stayed by herself. She really needed to get out of the house. When these people was trying to help her, all they did was talk. They just talked. They just talked. They just talked. And every time they drop off, she'd be like, hey, all right, I'll see y'all later. Blah, blah, blah. Pick it back up the next day. It's the same thing. But one thing they did not do, they never let the young lady speak. So therefore, all the time that they was picking her up, they never got the things out of her that she wanted. I had a chance to talk with her. As soon as she started conversation, I became a cup. And what I mean by the cup, everything that she had in her that she needed to get out, I let her put it in my cup. And once I got it in my cup, I prayed for her every day. She called me now. And she can't drop anything in my cup now. The lady was, 30 years older than me. Think about it. When there's nobody around you to sow any seeds, it's hard to get that water to grow. It's hard to get that food to grow. It's hard to even get somebody else's mindset to tweak yours a little bit. Taking everything from her, I never let them bad seeds come back in. I'm always water the thing every time she come around.
Seeds grow in dark places. People don't understand that. But you said she's 30 years older than you. You're never too young to teach and you're never too old to learn. She just took something that was totally negative in her life. You watered her seed. She turned it positive, and then now she had nothing but positivity going on with her. But even if she do have some type of negativity going on, it doesn't even matter.
I don't know if y'all know this or not, but in the Bible, the wheat and the tares look the same, but they're not the same. So when you sow good seeds into people, the things that's in there might feel the same way. But when you give them that right seed, it's going to overseed the weed. You have to push that because it can seem like it's the same thing. It's not. Sometimes it'll be the same feeling, but it's not. but the growth of it, you can hear it through conversation. Like now when I talk to the lady, it's different. She's like, well, I went through this, but the whole conversation changed because now when she go to cut the good weed, all of that, all the shreds go over to the spot that wasn't good and it grows over it. So that's the overseeding right there.
Right. I don't even mean to cut you off. If we looking at grass and we looking at weeds, right? Both of them kind of appear to be the same. Grass, when grass grow, it's good for the health of your yard. Right. But when weeds grow, it's bad for the appearance of your yard. So when you put both of them together, one of them got to be weeded out. Are you looking for the good or are you looking for the bad? And you just broke it all the way down into the most simplest terms to the point where anybody listening to this podcast right now can take something from it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, sometimes you just really have to really get out and look at things like speaking of grass and speaking of weed.
Perspective.
You can always walk outside and you can see something growing up in clumps and it don't look like it's going nowhere. And then you can step on same yard, and you see some grass that's just real smooth. You got one that's nappy-headed and one that's got waves. And you need to pick which type of hairstyle you want. Right. But it's there. Now, either you could make everything wavy or you can make everything nappy. You have that choice.
Right. I wanted to ask you, Big Mike, what is one of the biggest challenges that you ever had in your life, and how do you overcome the challenge that was brought to you?
The biggest challenge was me growing up around my grandparents, both sides of them. Both of them had gardens and pigs and all this stuff. I look at them like, God, why do they have to do that? I'm the one that just trying to figure the thing out at a young age, but it wasn't time. But to see them go through that's what makes my life totally different. I tell my kids what happened, but I try not to let them go into that mindset to where they might be set back for a while trying to figure out all the stuff that I went through. It never leaves me. And I still push the same way. Anything I put my hands on, I push it. If it pushed me back, I know that it's working. Look. If it don't push you back, it ain't working.
Well, you say I'm going to push it, but you ain't going to pull me.
Right.
I control this.
I'm going to keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it until that thing say, you know what, I give up. You're supposed to go through this door. With that being said, even though that was my lowest point then, it's my highest point now. I'm able to tell people, push. You can't go around the door and pull it open yourself. They're just not made to do that. You got to push.
Right. And we're talking about push. What really keeps you motivated? What keeps you going? What keeps your energy high and your mindset solid and smooth?
What keeps me motivated is I'm not finished. If I sit down, my kids sit down. If I sit down, my wife sit down because she going to follow me because I'm the leader of my pack.
Right.
When you are done, you die. But when you are working, you get grace. Faith without work is dead. I'm pretty sure y'all know that. And asking God, hey, I just wish I could go open my car door. I don't need to have faith that then I walk over to it and pull it open myself. But the things that he has set up for me, I have to keep pushing and pushing until I'm finished.
I like how you said push. You don't mind me kind of like tapping in on that. Push is persist until something happens. Just like how you said that a door closed, I'm going to keep persisting until this door open up for me. Giving up is not in my vocabulary.
Like what you said, there is levels to the next door. You can always look behind you and be like, you know what? It was hell back there. But I'm getting close enough, like it's right next door. When you get to complete levels, that's supposed to push you. You're not supposed to sit down. I know it took a minute for you guys to get your podcast going. I know y'all probably maybe sell out about a couple of things. That's growth. And there's no need to run off. That's growth. That's just because it was another level that y'all had to go through. Not just with the podcast, with y'all, with everybody that's surrounding y'all, because everybody can't be in your podcast. Everybody can't run it. But y'all can run it because y'all sit down and y'all build it. If I come in there right now, I probably add something that just not going to fit. Be like, hold on, Big Mike. Yeah, you turn into Little Mike right now. I don't know what's going on, bro. So I'm just through life, just look for new levels. Some going to be hard and some going to be kind of soft, but you still have to keep pushing to get to the next level.
And I like how you said you keep going and then you look back as hell back there. And I heard this thing that Steve Harvey had said. He said, if you're going through hell right now, why stop in hell?
There we go. Oh, that's an alley right there. I can dunk that.
Ooh, yeah.
I can dunk that.
I'm giving it to you, baby.
Yes, sir.
I had another question. What is one of the most surprising things that you learned about yourself throughout your journey?
I think the most exciting thing that happened to me was probably when I got a chance to be my own boss. I was working at this plant where they make sheet metal. My first 2 weeks, they gave me a raise. Next 2 weeks, they gave me another raise. That's the way you learn it real fast because y'all know I'm about levels. I just said that. I'm trying to get here. I'm trying to get there. And so, man, I had got to the point that I had worked every spot but the office. And I asked them, I said, hey, is there any other level that I can go to?
Yeah.
And they was like, no, the next thing you can do is probably work in the office. Man, look, I done did the mortgages, repair credit, you name it. I done did. I'm like, okay, cool. I know how to get suited up, take off these boots. Hey, let's do it. And they said, well, we don't have a position in the office. I said, okay. The next week, I put in my 2 weeks notice. I couldn't go to any more levels. All money ain't good money. If you want to make some money, I don't look at myself to be rich. I look at myself to be wealthy because I got to help somebody else do the same thing. That being said, since 2007, 2008, I've been working for myself. I done had over 100 people that I've helped or hired. That was the most amazing thing that ever happened to me because I was still able to help people, help myself grow, get to different levels, and help other people get to different levels. So that was probably one of the best things.
I got a question that go along with it. So I know you just said something about growth. Which one do you find more fulfilling? Is it growth in self or is it growth in others?
It's growth in others because others make you grow bigger. The reason why I say that, I can be a boss, I can be independent, but I got to depend on somebody to get to work. There's a lot of people out here that say, hey, I'm independent. I do this, I do that. I get it. I get it. How many people you got working for you? Well, I got about 4 or 5 people that are working for me. Okay, well, you dependent on somebody, so you can take all the independency out of the way. Because if you independent, you do it by yourself. And let me see how you wring that shirt out at the end of the day, because I know you're gonna be sweating. You running by yourself, and like I say, I done been around some people that gave me some beautiful things to take along with me. And with me, especially when I get around that, slow to speak, quick to think. So therefore, I could get whatever they giving me, and I can always take it to somebody who want it, because the people who want it looking for you. You ain't got to go looking for them. They're gonna find you.
So, Big Mike, I got a question for you. What's the number one pro and the number one con that has come with entrepreneurship?
I put it like this. When you running a business and there is nobody to help, but you're trying to push and get this thing open, but there's nobody to really help you grow it. I think that part right there is probably one of the weakest links that I can come up with as far as a con in the business. Because a lot of people go into business, but they don't have a lot of people that's business minded. A lot of people come up to your place, they still have an employee mindset, so they can help you with your business. So the pros,
quite a few of them.
it's a lot of them, man. My eyes went in the back of my head because I was trying to, pick out one of them. But the pros of it to me is actually getting that business going and meeting the right people.
Right.
We're about to make each other grow. Like y'all. Y'all make each other grow every time y'all do this podcast. Y'all probably don't know it or not. Y'all just thought y'all was just meeting up. No. It's way bigger than just meeting up. Y'all remember back in the day when the grandmas used to cook? Hey, everybody come over my house. Everybody thought they was going over grandma's house just to chill. No, she cooked. You can sit down and eat. So y'all around each other for a reason. So business-minded people know how to move different from an employee mindset person. There's nothing wrong with them. You teach them and train them because we was once there, because we didn't know.
Right.
So there's a lot of pros when it comes to that type of thing. We could talk about that all day.
I got a question for you, Big Mike. Give us values that you have in life and why.
Well, the mindset sets you up for everything. I never knew that I was going to ever have a family like I have. I actually saw my wife when I was 12. I didn't get a chance to meet her, but I saw her. 4 or 5 years later, I ran into her. We locked eyes, and that was that. Been married for 25 years, been together for 27. And if y'all saw me in person, I don't look 25. So life has been good to me through her. And I have to have all kinds of faith. The reason why I got to have that faith is because she already had kids when I got there. I'm still a teenager myself. So through that, those kids taught me how to be the daddy that I am now. I was supposed to go there.
When you said that you seen her when you was younger and then years later, y'all lock eyes with each other, in the terms, you was basically manifesting. So that moment when you seen her, did you know that was exactly who you wanted?
Yes. The reason why that is because all of my cousins was around me. All of them went into her house. She was with somebody else, but they went in the house. I didn't. The reason why I didn't, because it wasn't time. The seed goes like a son of a gun that day. And like I said, them years passed, and when I ran into again, that was it. The timing was off, but it was at a good time.
With attraction, with anything in business, and then like you were just talking about relationships, then it fell off into marriage, you attracted that situation to you. And I always tell people, if we talking about the law of attraction, it's about what you think about a person, a place, or a thing that's going to attract more to you or attract the type of results that you want. I know you attracted everything that you have right now into your life just by thoughts and what you were just talking about, mindset.
Right.
How does it feel right now to be in a life that you manifested? How does it feel?
It feels great. When stuff is manifested, of course there has to be a seed. We already talked about that.
Right.
With having all of that, I can build around me just through manifesting. God gave me a handful of good seeds. I just can't throw them anywhere. I have to be around good soil in order for me to plant another spot. So with that being said, having everything, I'm not saying having everything handed to me, but it almost feel like that.
Right.
Because my faith is so strong into what I'm manifesting and moving, knowing that you have another level coming. It feels great. I can stop. I can look at everything I've done. I don't want to mess with that no more. I don't want to go that direction anymore.
Right.
But if I stop, like I was telling y'all before, everything around me stops.
You got that hustler mentality.
Yeah.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah.
So I got a question, Mike. What's the number one thing becoming an entrepreneur has taught you, either about life, yourself, or other people?
Well, it taught me to be humble. It taught me to have plenty of patience, because without patience, now you can't even wait on, a 2-minute bag of popcorn to pop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're trying to rush, you're trying to put it on 30, and it still got to run through 2 minutes before it gets to 30.
Right.
But I guess it's just some people's mindset. So, man, I'm a pusher anyway. And I know every time you bring up a question, I always go back to pushing. I always go back to patience. It's because, man, all of that stuff's supposed to work together to get you to people. You meet people, you go different places. By me preaching patience to y'all, I'm going to tell you what you do. Anything that's going on with you that you just got to rush and you can't wait on it, write it down and look at it, because there's something in you that's stopping your drive. Every drive not supposed to be fast. I done seen some people go through a yield sign doing about 1,000 miles per hour, but that's just not what it's there for.
It's caution.
Yeah.
It's caution, right. So that's why I was saying earlier, we still have signs inside of us that we still have to try to protect. And if you rushing every time, you're going to miss something every time. But if you patient, at least it'll come to you slow. You can go back and get it. But if you're just trying to get everything all microwave, you ain't going to be able to make it. And you're going to see stuff come by so fast, you'll be like, well, I missed it. I got to go back. Ain't no back. If you have to go back, you got to fight everything you had to go through.
I know we was talking about patience. I think we said this one time, if you being impatient, then you basically define what God have for you, or you really going against the grain. The microwave is the worst creation ever. Everybody want instant gratification. They don't want to go through that process of doing whatever it is that they say they want to do, or getting whatever it is that they say they want to get. They just want it right then and there.
Right. Right then and there. I'm going to tell y'all a story, man. This going to blow y'all away. DT know, but the rest of you guys don't. I only stand about 5'3", 5'4". Every person, and I'm speaking of basketball now, every person that was around me, of course, they was taller than me. One thing I never played basketball with was my height. I never played with my height. I always played with my heart.
Hard work.
There we go. And every guy that I was around, he was either dunking or he was learning how. And I'm looking at myself like, man, I might not ever get there.
I can't get that high.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man. But you're looking at the guys, they 6'2". They at least start from like 5'10" and up dunking. So I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to let that part defeat me. I'm just not going to do it. Every summer, I'm working out, get my legs and stuff straight, running. All of a sudden, man, I got this spring in me. I thought, that patience starting to sit in, bro. It's starting to sit in. At the end of ninth grade, I was touching the bottom of the rim. I said, you know what? It's some trouble. 10th grade, I was hanging on it. 11th grade, man, I threw myself an alley and went up there and got that thing. So you can't let anything stop you just because of your position.
Right.
And you think about it. I wanted that so bad. You have to think about the things that God had to do with the universe in order to make me get that type of hop in these 5'3" league. That's it's mind blowing to me.
I like how you never confuse a single defeat with a final defeat. At that time, you knew what was going on with you, but you, like we said in the beginning, faith without work is dead. Also on the other side of that, work without faith is dead. You kept working with the faith of knowing, not looking at what was going on around you. You was focused on what Big Mike can do.
Right.
They don't call me Big Mike for nothing. I got to do some big things out here.
I need screws.
That's what they call laser focus, but you was laser focused on the goal that you had in mind. You didn't know that you was going to be able to do it, but you knew through your work and your faith, it was over.
Right. Because by the looks of it, oh no, it didn't look like me and the 10 foot never be partners unless I'm shooting the 3. And then I'm hitting it most of the time, so I still don't get a chance to touch the rim.
You swooshing that net.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm knocking the teeth out the rim.
But I can guarantee you at that moment, you wasn't looking at it from Big Mike view. You was looking at it from a God view.
Yes, I was looking at the big God. That's what I was looking at. Because he told me, he said, if you just do this, you'll get there. And we are doubters. We are human. We go through different things like that. Man, this is what I used to do. I stayed in this apartment complex called South Park, DT. You know all about that.
Yes, sir.
Every day from the 8th grade, I ran around the block 20 times. I dribbled the ball around there 20 times. I sprint around 5 times. At the end of the night, I used to get in the parking spot. I used to get in that spot and just dribble the ball in and out. We'll never go outside that yellow line. I did that every day up until I graduated. I put in the work. My senior year, I had 67, 68 threes before the Christmas break.
Told you, I Steph Curry with the rock.
Way before his time. Just because I put in the work. But just because I knew that the levels could be different if I put the work in. Right. And that's the way I treat everything now. If I put the work in, I'm going to get out of it. I know I'm going to get something out of it. If you don't want to clock in, stay at the house. I'm just going to stay at the house.
I got a question for you, Big Mike. Do you have a life motto, and what is it?
I really don't have a life motto, just because there's no ceiling to anything that I'm trying to do. If I set my mind to just do this and be straight with it, I'm done. I need my motto to change every day. I need to write something on my paper every day. I need to scratch out something on my paper every day too. I'm always about the push. I'm always about the growth. Always about the level. Because if I'm all about those things, you're going to constantly see my footprint.
I got a big question for you. What's the difference between faith and fear?
What's the difference between faith and fear? Okay, I'm going to start with faith. And I'll give an example before I go all the way, before I get to the fear part. Before I bought my last house, I was looking at some prices that, Lord have mercy, Jesus. It didn't even look like the numbers just, I don't even think I could put them on a calculator. That's how the numbers were standing. Einstein came back and was like, look, I can't answer that. It's why. Yeah. So my son, we was in a neighborhood where he's a bowler, couldn't bowl. Had to be somewhere where when he get to the grade, he's able to bowl. I prayed about what I was trying to do before I even put any faith in it. I didn't want to do it backwards. Because if I just got faith and I can't figure out what to do with it, I'm done. If I had said, you know what, I'm not finna pay that money for that house. I'm not finna do that. I would have failed. Not just me, my son. My wife, she was going to chill regardless of wherever we was going. But I was going to fail him. Failing is an option if you want it. You can get it every day. But when it comes to faith, a lot of people don't want that every day. They don't want it. They want to walk right outside, walk right into it, and don't even understand. But when you have faith, it's baby steps, patience. You'll get a chance to remember everything you went through to get to that point. Right. It ain't going to be like, I just walked outside and the house was in the backyard. No. They ain't got no key to the house. Don't even know how to cut the water on. We got a new unit. I don't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want to have to do so much explaining.
Right.
So I can fail just by not having faith. Faith is something that's hopeful.
I feel like faith is a big thing if you're trying to do anything in life. Faith is like you believing in something that you really don't see as of right now. And the reward of faith is you see what you believe in.
God rewards faith. He don't reward failure. All right, go ahead.
I think that failure, it kind of ties in with fear. If you're not willing to fail, that means you fear something.
Right.
And I think that failure is the condiment that gives any success its flavor. Just because you fail once doesn't mean you're going to fail at everything. I always tell everybody that. And you have to be able to keep going even when it seems tough. So that's when faith come in. So even when it seems tough, you just got to put one foot in front of the other and keep going and don't give up.
Right.
So faith and fear kind of go hand to hand.
That's right. People don't understand the test. You got to understand the test. But the test comes when your patience sits, not when you're in a hurry. When you're in a hurry, that's when you run into failure. That's when you run, and it causes fear. You ask yourself, why am I here? Why am I there? I shouldn't be here. I should be there. I know I can't do this. I know. Yeah, you're right. You didn't get enough blocks to go set a foundation.
Right.
You took a bucket of pickles with you. It's going to be sour, dog, for the rest of the day. You took some pickles with you. It's a testing ground. It's a testing ground. The reason why I keep bringing up patience is because even if I don't know every answer, I'm sitting there patiently waiting on the answer. But I'm not sitting still. Patience is not sitting down. It's just waiting on what's supposed to come. And expecting. I'm always expecting. If you are not expecting, don't accept anything. I'm expecting something right now. I don't know exactly what's going to hit me in my forehead, but I'm expecting something right now.
Hey, Big Mike, I got one more question for you, Mr. Mike.
Okay.
Do you feel like college education is necessary to be an entrepreneur, or is it one of those things where it's like you learn as you go?
Definitely not needed. Definitely not needed. Some people go to college for 1,000 years, come back and can't even count to 100. They come back, can't get the job that they went to school for. Now you settle. This is what I tell my son. My son is probably one of the smartest kids I know. He was a beast in basketball because he couldn't live here if he couldn't be that, because that's what I do. So I asked him, I said, you going to play ball in school? He said, no. He said, I'm going to go and I'm going to get certified to be an architectural engineer. I said, all right, do your thing. He's sweating, nothing. He got two dimensions to what he wanted to do. He can go back and play ball anytime he get ready. But he can also use what he went to school for. If it don't work for school, you still got other things that you can work on.
Right.
This is when I come in. I've never been to college. Matter of fact, when they said, you about to graduate in 30 days, I cried 29 of them. I was ready to get out. I was ready to get out. Before I even got to 8th grade mentally, the entrepreneurship had already started. Now think about this. When my son got in the 6th or 7th grade, I had already had businesses. I already taught him how to run the businesses. No, you don't have to do college. I'm not saying that it's helpful. I'm not saying that it's not helpful. But you don't have to have it in order to be an entrepreneur, because most of the entrepreneurs didn't even finish school. They finished the race, though, being around people who had knowledge.
Right.
I don't know nothing about podcasts. This is my first one. Put me around, y'all. I'm going to learn your thing. I'm going to learn it.
Right.
Because I'm going to pick it up.
Okay.
I'm going to pick it up. So, no, just to answer your question, man, you don't need college to be an entrepreneur. I've been one for a while, and I continue to be one, but I'm going to show somebody else how to be one and how to make something.
And I like how you said that. So experiences is really the tuition to your success.
That's it. That's your financial aid right there.
Your financial aid. And I'm real big on listening to Steve Harvey. I don't know who listened to this, what's your religious background, but I know he was saying that you don't see Princeton, you don't see Yale, you don't see Spelman, you don't see any of those colleges in the Bible. So I'm not saying that it's useful. I'm not saying that it's not useful. But one thing that I can tell you for sure is 4 principles in the Bible that you're going to need to get any type of success that you want. And number 1 being faith, then dreams, imagination, and work. That's it.
Yeah, because when God did this earth, imagination. I need to put this here. I need to put this there. And after he got through, he did 7 days. He said completion.
That's work.
Yeah.
And a lot of folks wish when they got to 7th grade that was completion, but no, you had to do 12.
There's really more ways to go.
Yeah. That was just one little graduation.
Right, it's a milestone.
Right. Yeah. So you have to use those things. And if you just go back in the Bible, just read how the mindset of Jesus, because he really tells about how God did his thing. And it just offers a space, math, numbers, putting things together. All that stuff has to run together. You think about it. You can't build a house unless you know your numbers. You don't know how big you can build unless you know math. I'm just saying, it is mind-blowing when you really get in there and just really just dissect some of the stuff. Dissect the mindset. You don't have to dissect the word this or the. You know what that means.
Right.
Go straight to the mindset and sit down and just wonder. Let your imagination kind of take you off, because it builds things.
Yeah, it does. It helps you see things too.
Things.
I heard that imagination is the previews to life's coming attraction. And I was looking at this interview with him, and he was saying, if you go to the movies, you get your popcorn or whatever the case might be, you trying to catch the feature, right? So when you walk into the movies, it's a preview, right? It's always a preview.
Always.
I have never seen a movie with a preview and the movie don't come out.
That's right.
That movie going to have to come out regardless. Yeah. So it's a preview of life's coming attraction. Once they put that preview on the screen, you looking to see, is that something that you interested in?
Right.
But regardless of the situation it's going to come out regardless. I have never seen a preview come up on the screen and it don't come out. So that's why I say imagination is real big. And another one of the fundamentals, and we always talk about this, is dreams. Yeah. If God put a dream into you, he put it there for a reason. And your imagination is the thing that works that dream.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Along with work and faith.
Can't leave them out.
Right, can't leave them out. Like I said, we're not down in college. We're not saying none of that. But those are the 4 essential things that you need in order to achieve anything, which is faith, dream, imagination, and work. Right. But I know I do got a real big question for you on this one, Big Mike. How big of a role do God play in your journey?
How big of a role? Oh, man. Whew. Man, boy, it's huge. The reason why I said it is because my wife had no faith in nothing. Just because of the way she was treated coming up. It's just because of the way she was treated. Get with people, promise this and promise that, promise this and promise that. Always a fail. So I told her, I said, I don't know what I can do for you, but I'm going to tell you who I trust and what I believe in. And I'm putting stuff on the paper for him to check out for us. If he send a memo back, hey, we move together. That's a big role for me, because I'm able to tell people about him and show them how it works. People think they have to be so perfect to even talk to them. They think that the addiction has to be way bigger than any superstar, model, or whatever. They think that this has to be great in order to speak with greatness. No. When we was put here, we knew we was imperfect, because if we were, we would have never dropped here. That's a huge thing for me, because I don't move without that. I don't move without him.
That's your partner.
That's it. I'm writing notes to him every day. Look, I'm trying to get this off. I'm trying to get this in. I'm trying to get this on. What you think about it? I'm patiently waiting for the answer. That's right. And when the answer comes, I'm already working on it. I don't know. He don't never say, hey, well, here you go. Right. You already move into it. You already doing it. And then you smile, be like, oh, wow, I didn't realize that I was doing it.
They say to write the vision down and make it clear, so whoever see it may run, even though it might tear.
Yes, sir. I'm telling you. Always expecting. That is major for me. It changed. Of course, it changed my life. Changed my wife's life, which she know that I'm on that level. She listening. He done proved some stuff to her. He done proved a lot of stuff. Man, when we first got together, man, we standing in the trailer. I promise you, if you step 20 times, you completed the trailer. It was that small. And if you go across it, It was maybe 8 to 10 steps. I was humble with that though. I sat in that spot and I talked to God. I was like, I know that this is not it. I'm going to stay here until the next step. Moved out, got a duplex. Moved out of duplex, bought my first house at 20, 21. Whole mindset just changed. A couple of years after that, ran into another lady. This is all through faith now. I'm still talking about God. It's all through faith. Ran into another lady that knew how to prepare credit, that knew how to do mortgages, all that. Gave me some more, oh my God, just gave me some more knowledge to what was going on. Her and her partner own this housing complex. I'm treating these folks right. I'm doing everything good. I'm trying to learn from them, going to every class, doing the things that I'm supposed to do. Those people basically gave me a house. The house was 3,700 square foot, 5 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, real nice. Mindset gone. God said, that's what I can do without you even using your credit. Lord, have mercy.
He said, Lord, have mercy.
Man, y'all gonna make me start preaching on here now. I don't know if it's just what this podcast, can handle now. I'm just telling you.
Look, I know that you just said that you just came from that trailer all the way up until right now. If you don't mind us asking, how many square feet is the house right now?
The one that I'm in right now is 3,750. And I got a 48 by 51 basketball court. So it's basically half a court in my backyard. Gotta have it.
Hey, won't he do it?
I've been wanting to do it.
Yes, sir.
Look, Big Mike, I know we done talked about a lot, but what's one of the biggest takeaways that you hope listeners actually learn from this right table conversation?
Well, I hope they learn how to deal with feelings. I hope they learn how to be around people that's actually trying to make a move. I hope that they get from this that it's not going to just take your mindset. It's where you take your mindset. If you be around, and DT, you know how we talk. If you be around 4 great ones, you'll be the 5th one.
Right.
You have to be around greatness in order to see something. If you want to be, you can, but at least try to get around it. If you can get around it, I promise you it'll change. So I hope people are looking at this podcast and be like, you know what? I think it's my time. I think I need to start moving. I think I need to have more gratitude. I think I need to be more, grateful with the things that I have. I think I need to just really start hanging around my friends that's trying to push me.
Y'all see why I say he one of my first mentors. Mm-hmm. Like every conversation be genuine, but you're going to take a lot of gems from him. Right. Like if you listen to this, you didn't take no gems from him. I don't know what it is. You probably need to go and see the jeweler.
They weren't listening for real. They weren't listening.
But Big Mike, tell us real quick, where can listeners learn more from you and where can they contact you at?
Well, I'm always giving my number out. Like I said, this is my first podcast, but it's not my first rodeo.
Right.
Been around the block before.
Hey, I'm the type of guy you run into in the grocery store. We sit there for a couple of hours and talk. And when you get to know me, you constantly calling and we meet. And I don't have a specific page or any type of podcast yet. I do everything personally. Let me help you out. But I can always give my number out. And if anybody out there that needs to talk about anything, I want to listen. I want to learn who you are because I'm going to tell you who I am. So we have any listeners out there that want to talk. My number is 901-598-5994. And that's Mike Parker.
And I know you have a Facebook too, if they want to reach out to you on that.
Yeah, I got the Facebook. Mm-hmm.
I think your Facebook, Michael Parker too.
Yeah, it's Michael Parker on there. Yeah, it's not Mike Parker. It's Michael Parker on there.
Yeah, so you can reach out to him personally or you can reach out to him on Facebook. You're going to take some type of gems from him. You just feel it all over him and then all over this right table interview. We about to get ready to end this thing off. Like I said, y'all can actually see why I hold him to a very high standard because every conversation that we have, it goes into another level and he prepare you for the next level. So when things don't go your way, if you listen to this whole podcast, I want you to understand this. When things don't go your way, I want you to remember that every challenge and every adversity, it contains some seed of growth and opportunity. Right. Whether you sowing into somebody or somebody sowing into you, always believe in yourself. Always stretch yourself beyond your limits, and your life is worth way much more than you can possibly think. You are capable of accomplishing anything in business, life, etc., etc. But you have to be able to implement patience, faith, and a lot of work to push yourself beyond where you are right now. And a growth mindset and a spiritual connection is needed for your entrepreneurial journey. Don't fall into the trap of an average person's mindset. Develop a mindset of being an entrepreneur. Embrace learning and growing so you can become a part of the 5% club. If you do what is easy, life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, life will be easy. Hope you took some type of value from this episode, and so you can actually go out there and check your thoughts. Follow us on Instagram at The Mind Report, and also streaming however you want to listen to us at www.themindreportpodcast.com. I'm DT.
I'm Ken.
And I'm Caleb.
And we are The Mind Report, and we are out.
If you enjoyed this podcast episode, make sure you share it with someone else.
And be on the lookout for new episodes. And make sure you subscribe now.
This is The Mind Report.
And we are out.